Hi there, beautiful souls watching. Welcome and thank you. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So this one is about all is consciousness. A funny thing happened to me recently. I woke up in the morning and still heard a voice inside of me saying with a typical kind of Indian accent, all is consciousness. And it wasn't the booming voice I already encountered in a lucid dream or in some other situations that I heard inside of me. It's also not the voice, my own voice, kind of talking inside of my head. The thoughts, the self-talk you probably all know. That's more or less in your own voice. It was the voice of a man, and it typically sounded very Indian-like with a slight accent. And I started wondering about that because, of course, you as well as me already heard that. All is consciousness, all is one. We read that. Other people say that as well. But as long as you don't have any kind of feeling or experience a situation that kind of replies to that sentence, it does not make that much sense. So you need kind of be touched within a situation, and then some of these sentences you might have carried around half or whole of your life, and they're in there somewhere, but you can't relate to them really. They pop up and suddenly they are kind of filled with energy and start to make sense. So I pondered about the sentence I already knew, but only intellectually, and missed the link with the feeling or situation. All is consciousness. What does that really mean? And then slowly I walked around with that for some time. Slowly it started to make sense, because my guides reminded me of the meditation I put onto my channel, how to go inside and open the door in your heart and get the inner connection to your own soul. I have to clear something. Our language is so wrong, and very often it's not what we say, but it's the contrary, and often we don't really mean what we say, and so there's a lot of confusion. You know, the thing is, we say, I have a soul, or something like that. And that's definitely wrong, because it's not that we don't have a soul, but we don't have the soul. The soul has us. We are kind of sitting in this invisible field around us that behaves energy-wise like water. And there is movement and emotions and thoughts and all kinds of things going around, but also it's the higher energy of your soul. And we are all sitting in that, not aware and not conscious that we are in our soul. So the soul has us. And if you start to sit with your soul, be quiet, close your eyes, go inside and feel, how do you feel? What's going on in there? And it helps to touch your heart, because when you feel, you cannot think and you get out of your head and can connect via feeling with your heart and the soul and the higher consciousness. So we are sitting in the soul. in our own soul, like the fish is swimming in the water. And because water is kind of colorless, it only reflects the sky above or the ground below, so it might look very blue or greenish if trees are around. If the ground is sandy, then it's very clear and light. If the ground is dark, then the water reflects muddy water or more dark water. So we're sitting in our soul like the fish are swimming in the water. And there's an old saying that the fish does not know about the water because the fish can't see the water it is in. And it's wondering and pondering about the water, what that might be. And that's such a great analogy about our human condition, sitting in our soul, being with our soul 24/7, all day, every time, without being aware, without consciously knowing that. And that's why I have to make this video today. I got a nudge from my guides, kind of, come on, go out now and say that. Okay, here I'm sitting now and telling you, you cannot even be separated from your divinity, which is your soul, because you're always sitting in it. And the best way to make contact with your own soul is go inside, get calm and quiet, and start feeling. And there is another thing that I'd like to share now that came to my mind, probably on purpose. My guides say yes, and I have to include this in my video right here and right now, because it also relates to consciousness. Consciousness is more or less the highest power, is equivalent with love and light and divinity. So consciousness is a great power that we are not aware of, and we don't know our own force, might and power via consciousness, because we simply don't know, or we're taught wrongly, or we believe some false beliefs and things like that. So there is a story about Rudolf Steiner, the founder of anthroposophy and an initiate of the Rosicrucian knowledge. He was once on his way via train to go to a conference in Switzerland when he got the note that there is an assassination planned on him in exactly the train he wanted to use to get from his place to the place of the conference in Switzerland. And he was pondering about that, and the story goes on that he decided, I am going like I intended, and I am not going away from my plan, from using that train. I'm not changing my intent or my focus, although I know and got noticed about this thing that maybe somebody planned to assassinate him or whatever. Let us call it just some kind of threat or distraction. So he decided to use the train, and he did, and nothing happened. So only by knowing about the fact that maybe something could happen, he was conscious about that, and just by his consciousness, I think he changed the outcome or the timeline of the situation and the things to develop. So that's a very important point, that we don't use our consciousness most often the right way. understand that if you know about something, that already changes your state of vibration, the state of vibration that's outside of you, because that's just the mirror of the inside. In reality, there is no outside. And all this material 3D world that we think is so freaking real is just a simulation, as others also told you, or maybe after watching the film Matrix you get an idea about that this is a simulation. It is the projection of our higher self or soul that never left the divine unity and is kind of dreaming. It is separated and has to do something to reconnect with God, Source, the own soul, or whatever. It is just a projection of our soul and higher self into this realm to have the experience. Because try to imagine you're in a higher consciousness, in a higher dimension. You have everything, all your needs fulfilled. You don't miss anything. That you have everything, you know everything. So what's the point and what to do? We can hardly imagine that because many people still long for this car, that house, that partner, and all the material things that will never fulfill the longing of the soul for home. And this is the only longing that's very often distorted within our ego personality and canalized by advertisement and the world into buy this, buy that, that makes you happy. It will not make you happy even if you got your sports car. After a few days or a few weeks, it wears off and it's not really something that can fulfill you. We enter this world as a baby naked, and we bring with us only what we own in our microcosmic field, our energy, our knowledge, the quality of our soul. And we leave this world also naked. You can't take your house, your boat, your sports car with you. We leave this world naked, and we can only take with us to the next world and the other side what we really own in ourselves. So our knowledge, our experience, what we learned. And as I already said various times, Spirit World is saying the same. This earth is a school for souls to learn and grow. And you only learn and grow by experience, not by thinking or reading spiritual books or listening to smart people who know it all and sometimes know it all better. Without experience, you don't really know. Real knowledge comes from experience. And the same theme about changing a situation or an outcome or maybe a timeline is also in some of the Star Trek episodes, where there is a threat to the Enterprise, or however the spaceship is called, with the captain and the crew on there. And they start to think, so to avoid that, we're going to do that. And then suddenly the first officer is saying to the captain, but maybe by avoiding it and creating another way or another handling of the situation, we create exactly by that the possibility that this thing can happen. So that's a very interesting point, and I would like you to ponder on that as well, because all is consciousness. And if you really understand that all is consciousness and that you and me and everyone else is a part of this one consciousness, the one divine consciousness, only divided into all of us to have different experience of everything possible, then you start to understand that this is your greatest force and you can start to use it for the good of all, including yourself. And just by knowing some things and really feeling into them and getting a link to that, you can maybe change more than you ever expected. If you ever heard of the butterfly effect, that a butterfly flapping its wings in Thailand or somewhere can create a chain of things happening that have a greater impact than you would ever imagine from this tiny little butterfly. And another thing to maybe clear a little bit more about the link, the emotion, the experience you need to kind of open up some of the wise sentences or the wise knowledge you already have in you. You don't have to strive for it. It's all in here. It's already there. But we need sometimes the link. That's why I include another story from a dear, dear friend of mine. She is very much into caring for animals, and she's an empath, and she feels for the animals and the small and little ones that have no or only little voice in this three-dimensional material world. Like there are still a lot of people who don't treat animals well, and little ones like children and so on. So she described to me that she even had a course in animal communication. And then she had this situation where she came out of the front door of her house and a car drove by and drove over a dove. And she just witnessed that, couldn't do anything, and the dove did not survive, and the driver just went on as if nothing had happened. And she felt angry, of course, because of that guy not respecting any life form like the dove, and even driving on, not even caring. And yes, we can get into all these feelings. I know that. I sometimes get angry if I watch and witness situations like that. And then it happened that right after that experience that left her kind of emotionally a little bit in upheaval, I made a video and posted it exactly the same day, and she saw it, where I told about that animals excarnate much, much easier than humans because they have no brain and they don't hold on to their material belongings, and that the soul goes out from animals or also from humans before the suffering, the pain, and everything that we, with our human view, think is horrible and don't want to watch and don't want anyone else to experience that. So she saw my video and heard me say that, and then suddenly, boom, the sentence from her animal communication course popped up, where the leader of the course, the animal communicator, also said animals have no problem to excarnate, and the soul is leaving before the pain and all the body symptoms and suffering starts. And there was the link. She had the situation and was in upheaval. She already had that sentence in her field, but she couldn't grab onto it because the link was missing. Then she saw my video, and I thank God that my guides, made me make the video right in time. I did not know anything about that. She told it afterwards to me. And then another thing happened. That's really funny. She tried out my meditation video and was just going inside this space of the heart and kind of looking what will show up there. And suddenly she saw the dove flying and telepathic. Oh, what a difficult word. Like telepathic communication, she kind of got from the dove, "See, I'm okay." Isn't that wonderful? So that's what I wanted to share today with you, and I leave you with that. Have some other viewpoints and maybe find your links where experience links to a wise sentence that you already carry within you since years. And I hope that some things might start to make sense to you as well. So, blessings, love and light to you, beautiful souls. Thank you for watching. Bye.